Is Bakkt overhyped? With many people believing that Bakkt is going to trigger the next bull run, it's time to finally answer that question. During this video, I'll be looking at the current Bitcoin futures and their trading volumes, then applying that to Bakkt in order to produce our answer. Hi, I'm Tom from Crypto Gurus, and if you want to learn more, keep watching. Let's begin this video with the disclaimer. Remember, nothing in this video is financial advice. The full disclaimer is going to flash up now. Please pause the video and read it. If you'd like to join our Telegram community and chat with me personally, open up the description and you'll find the link in there. And the final thing I want to say is that this is the first ever video I'm doing while standing up rather than sat down. So I'm hoping it's going to look all right. I guess we're going to find out after I've done the editing. For those of you who don't already know what Bakkt is, I've already made a video explaining the platform. Click in the top right now and it will take you over there. Then come back to this video for the follow-up. In that video, I basically said that I believe Bakkt is huge news for the cryptocurrency market. It involves the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange partnering with Microsoft and Starbucks in this industry. That is undeniably massive news and provides real legitimacy to this market even in its infancy stages. But in that video, I was very clear that I was talking about the long-term prospects of the project and not the short-term. During this video, we'll be talking only about the short-term impact that Bakkt could have on the market. Many people are assuming that Bakkt is going to have an instant impact on the market because it represents the first physically delivered Bitcoin future. What this basically means is anytime someone goes long on the Bitcoin future, the company will actually go and buy the underlying Bitcoin. The current Bitcoin futures are cash settled, meaning that nobody actually buys Bitcoin. They're simply placing a bet on whether the value is going to go up or down. But this doesn't automatically mean there's going to be demand for the futures. To be honest, it's impossible to say. But what we can do is quantify the effect that the potential demand would have by looking at the current Bitcoin futures on the CME and CBOE, applying that to Bakkt, and then generating a rough value of the effect that this could have on the market. And that is exactly what we're going to be doing now. During this, we'll be making several assumptions, and to be honest with you, some of them are a bit silly, but that is intentional. I'll be explaining later in the video why these assumptions have been made, so don't comment down below until you've at least seen why. Before I begin with the maths in this section, I want to be honest with you guys and highlight I do not have any institutional background investing myself. I've done a master's in business, but we did not cover futures. So over the past couple of days, I've been doing my best to teach myself as much as I can about the technical side behind this, but I cannot guarantee the maths is 100% accurate. Having said all of that, let's begin. The two biggest platforms which are trading Bitcoin futures are the CME Group and CBOE. Over the past month, from the 26th of September to the 26th of October, the CME had an average trading volume of 2,662 contracts per day. What's a contract, you're wondering? One contract with the CME Group represents 5 Bitcoin. Therefore, trading 2,662 contracts in one day is the same as 13,310 Bitcoin. With the CBOE, the highest trading volume was nearly 7,000 contracts, while the lowest was just under 600. A huge variation from top to bottom. Overall, the average was 2,040 contracts per day. With the CBOE, one contract equals 1 Bitcoin, therefore 2,400 contracts equals 2,400 Bitcoins per day. If we add these two numbers together, we can see that the total average Bitcoin trading volume in Bitcoin futures is 15,350 Bitcoin per day. Let's give that some context. With the current value of Bitcoin, this is a trading volume of $98 million. And in the current market, if we compare that to public exchanges, would be ranked number 9, just below Bitfinex's Bitcoin to US dollar market. And as a proportion of the overall market, it would represent 2.3% of the total trading volume. Bear in mind here that this value is derived from looking at the public exchanges and not factoring in the OTC market. So 2.3% is actually much higher than the real value would be. Now let's assume that on day one, Bakkt has the same trading volume as the CME Group and CBOE combined. In other words, a trading volume of $98 million per day. If this were in the open market, what effect would it have on the price of Bitcoin? For this, I've used an article which discusses how $23 million worth of bullish trades back in February was able to increase the price of Bitcoin by 0.557%, or an increase of market cap by $1 billion. The link's going to be in the description. I'm not claiming any credit for putting together the research myself. An increase of $1 billion with just $23 million worth of bullish trades is a leverage of 44 times. Let's apply this to the $98 million trading volume. With a leverage of 44 times, that would increase the market cap by 4.3 billion. With the current market cap of Bitcoin being 110 billion, that's an increase of just 3.9%. Therefore, we can see that is not a significant move. Now, let's talk about those assumptions so you can understand my calculations a little bit better. The first assumption is that Bakkt is going to have the same trading volume as the CME Group and CBOE combined on day one. This is a very, very ambitious trading volume. Some people may say because it's physically delivered, that makes it preferable to CME and CBOE, so it could have a higher trading volume. But at the end of the day, whether you buy any Bitcoin futures comes down to one key factor. Do you think Bitcoin is going to increase or decrease in value? If there aren't that many people betting on the CBOE and CME markets, it kind of makes sense that there won't immediately be a massive trading volume on Bakkt to begin with. I would be very, very surprised if it's the same as those two exchanges at the very beginning. Assumption number 2 is that institutions wouldn't simply front run this. Let's say that you're an institution and you're waiting for Bakkt to launch because you're going to buy futures. That's what a lot of people in the market seem to believe is currently happening. If you were that institution and you thought that, presumably you'd think other institutions are having the same idea, and therefore why wouldn't you get ahead of those by buying Bitcoin futures on CBOE or CME? Sure, they're not physically delivered, but if you get there early, you're going to make more profits, and they're still being insured by gigantic institutions. Assumption number 3 is that Bakkt is going to be buying in the open market. When I made the calculation based on that 44 times leverage, that was for the open market. That was on a public exchange. Bakkt isn't going to be buying Bitcoin on a public exchange. They're going to be buying in the OTC market, which moves the overall price far, far less. Therefore, even if their trades are incredibly bullish, we wouldn't expect to see the same kind of movement based on a similar amount of bullish volume. And the final assumption is that the $98 million of trading volume is 100% bullish. Once again, we looked at that $23 million and it was leveraged by 44 times, the effect that it had on the market. But that was a $23 million bullish trade. So using those figures, we've assumed $98 million is all bullish. No one's shorting the market, which once again is not a realistic assumption. Why have I made all of these assumptions? Surely that's effectively given us false numbers. Yes, that's exactly why I did it. I wanted to show that even in the best case scenario, the impact on the market should not be that big. At this point, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, I'm confused. Tom, you said in the last video that you're very, very bullish on Bakkt. Why are you now criticizing it? Or not necessarily criticizing it, but maybe not being as bullish as other people. The answer is that I am very, very bullish on Bakkt for the crypto market in the long term. It's the New York Stock Exchange parent company partnering with Microsoft and Starbucks to create a future which could see mainstream Bitcoin adoption. But that doesn't mean that it's going to have an immediate short-term impact. In fact, if we look at the numbers, logically it shouldn't. Now, I'm not saying my calculations are 100% accurate. Someone is probably going to end up correcting me in the comments section. Feel free to do so. I'm really open to learning. My personal opinion is we're going to see the next bull run towards the end of Q1 2019. Bakkt will be online for several months at that time. Maybe Fidelity's trading desk will be live, and we're going to see so many more developments that are going to push up the market. But I'm not expecting Bakkt to have the impact that many people are. Having said all of that, this is cryptocurrencies. Sometimes fundamentals completely go out the window and hype generates the market movements. There's going to be hype around Bakkt, so maybe I am entirely wrong. In fact, I genuinely hope that I am. I don't want to wait till the end of Q1 2019 for the next bull run, and I'm sure that you don't either. Now I've got a question for you. Do you believe that Bakkt is going to trigger the next bull run? Vote in the top right now and have your say. And don't forget to comment the reasoning down below too. And remember, if you want to join our community and chat with me personally, open up the description and you will see our Telegram community link there. From Tom here at Crypto Gurus, thank you for watching. We will speak again very soon.